It's Jon's aluminum mistress, as Bev says, so it gives him purpose, gives him reason to get out of bed, gives him something to do, something to worry over.
I bought this plane when I was 60 years old. I started this project. It's been a fun project. Keeps me out of the bars and off the golf courses.
How old are you today?
85. I don't feel 85, so I just keep working.
Hey, Bevy?
Yeah.
Bring me a 17 and a 19 millimeter.
Wrenches?
Yeah.
It took Jon Blanchette 14 years to restore a Red 620.
Okay, here you go, 17 and 19.
Let's see which one fits.
Okay.
Yeah, 19.
He turned the scrapped MiG fighter jet into an airshow star.
And that was one of the two. Done.
Are you a pilot?
No, I'm not a pilot. No. Everybody says, oh, you're losing out on all the fun. I says, I'm having the fun, but this part's the fun. Let the pilot have his fun. I have the best there is. That's Randy Ball.
Randy Ball is a commercial captain who pilots passenger jets during the week. But on weekends, Ball can be found flying at air shows across the country, where his daring aerobatic MiG-17 routines demonstrate a very different kind of flight.
I'm going to do a full-up demonstration today, very similar to what you would see on an F-16 or a F-18 Hornet. 8G minimum radius turns, vertical afterburner climbs, culminating with a .93 or almost 600 mile an hour pass in front of the crowd at about 20 feet off the deck. You should like it. I like it.
I'm very fortunate to have him. That he is so agreeable to fly it.
It needs to be flown. It needs to, just sitting in there. It's telling history to the kids is one thing, but showing them, letting them touch it, smell it, see it, hear it. That's just a whole much better way of learning histories.
Is a Polish-built Russian MiG-17 PF or D model, which I got in a scrapyard in Poland, brought over here, and restored it. By the time we unloaded it, I had all the damage on my hand.
They just ripped everything apart. Cut the cables, the flap cables. That's the nose gear underneath there. There's a wingtip. Wingtips are smashed in. Oh, it was terrible. It was terrible.
Some said this thing was never going to fly again. Never going to fly. I said, well, we'll see what happens with time. We'll see what happens, because I don't give up when I start something. It's the only flying one in the world today.
Ball cannot stay. He must return to work, then fly back to his home hangar in Texas, where he and his team will prepare his jet, 1611, for the coming air show season.
Hi, my name is Erin Kelley, and I am the traveling mechanic and crew chief. My training from the Navy is avionics tech, but this being a very old jet from the 1960s, doesn't have very much avionics in it except what we've put in it to keep up with FAR regulations. So I work on everything. When we're on the road and at an air show, I do a look over of the jet and make sure it's ready for him to fly. I service the nitrogen and the fuel and whatever he needs me to do.
When we're on the road, it's whatever's broke. If something breaks, that's what we're working on, because the jet has got to fly. It has to fly to the show, it has to fly Friday, it has to fly Saturday, it has to fly Sunday. If we do a night show, we're the only jet night aerobatic team in the nation, or North America. So we may be flying again in the dark on Friday night. If we have an issue, we work however late we have to work so that the airplane is 100% up Saturday for its performance. Do the same thing Sunday, and then the airplane has to launch and fly sometimes 2 or 3 legs halfway across the United States to stage for its following weekend's air show. She's the glue that makes that kind of a schedule work.
2020 will be my 8th season working with him and traveling with him.
On my aerobatic routine, the first maneuver I do is I take off, afterburner, landing gears coming up, I roll away from the crowd, pull the nose up, and roll the jet. So the first maneuver I'm doing is rolling the jet close to the ground on the takeoff. So if everything is not right, and I mean everything's got to be right with the jet, it could be a really bad day.
With air show season fast approaching, Ball and Blanchette must carefully prep their jets. They inspect critical parts and perform routine maintenance. At 600 miles per hour, any cracks, leaks, or damage could turn deadly.
We lost 3 air show performers this last weekend. I knew all of them. And they're all good guys. They were competent guys. I mean, 3 fatalities before we have our first really official U.S. air show of the 2020 season. Yeah, that bugs me a little bit.
Despite the danger, Ball books as many as 26 air shows a year. In his jet, a MiG-17F, and John's jet, a MiG-17PF.
The purpose of the plane was to protect Soviet airspace around the clock. And that's why the radar nose is on here.
The P designation, a tracking radar on the bottom and a search radar on top. The PF was the first all-weather interceptor. The F refers to the jet's engine. The MiG-17 was the first Soviet fighter with an afterburner.
People at the air show love it.
So did the judges at Oshkosh, the largest air show in the country. The jet was even featured as the cover story of Smithsonian Air and Space. Ball's first air show of the season is just 3 weekends away. Will the team be able to get the jet ready in time? Airshow performer Randy Ball and his team of volunteers have just 3 more weekends to get 1611 ready for its first airshow of the season. In New York, Jon Blanchette readies his award-winning jet Red 620 for the coming airshow season. In just a few weeks, Randy Ball will take to the skies for the start of his 30th season as an airshow performer. His routine will test the limits of plane and pilot. Ball and his team are used to encountering challenges at each air show. With a 60-year-old jet, it's par for the course. But this year, before they even get to their first air show, a new challenge has appeared on the horizon. The COVID-19 virus is starting to encircle the globe. What will it mean for Randy and his team? And what about John's Red 620? Will Randy thrill crowds in it once again, like he did in 2017?
Makes me sweat right to my waist. No, really, I'm very nervous when it's in the air because, I put it together.